You know, next week I'm going to have a birthday, but 61 million Americans aren't. 61 million. Now let that thought sink in for a second, because that's the population of California and Florida together. That's the number of Americans who didn't get a chance to be born since Roe v. Wade was passed. Now, I spent over 30 years as an anesthesiologist on the labor and delivery suite. I was in charge of labor and delivery anesthesia at Hopkins for decades, seeing the birth of literally thousands of babies, and not even beginning to comprehend the magnitude of the 61 million lives that never had that opportunity to be born. Now, next week we are going to have the March for Life. And, Mr. Speaker, I urge all the Americans who are watching, tune into one of those channels that shows that March for Life. Because what you'll be struck by are the number of young people who have not believed the lie about abortion, the lie that it's a blob of tissue, that it's not a human life, that somehow that human life does not have the right to life. And I believe there are a lot of young people who march because this is the generation that knows that it was legal for them to be aborted. And I think they appreciate the fact that they weren't. Now, like Mrs. Roby, I'm on the Appropriations Committee, and I'm glad to have fought to get Planned Parenthood defunded by tax dollars, because Planned Parenthood is the largest abortion provider in the United States. That means it is responsible for the taking of tens of millions of lives over the years. And not only that, but they actually promote using American tax dollars to provide abortions overseas as well. So I'm proud of our president. Of course, our president reestablished what we call the Mexico City policy, which is very simple, Mr. Speaker. It says that American tax dollars, hardworking American taxpayer dollars, should not be spent on providing abortions in foreign countries. Oh my gosh, it's bad enough that we still fund Planned Parenthood here in this country, but my gosh, spending tax dollars to pay for abortions in foreign countries. So thank goodness our president stands firmly pro-life. Some people suggest the most pro-life president we've ever had, at such a good time to be the most pro-life president. As the death toll climbs to over 60 million, it is rapidly approaching the time to say enough is enough. This is the largest and most important human rights issue we face. This country has faced human rights issues before. We have to face this challenge, and we have to turn back the legalization of the killing of millions of Americans before they're even born. I yield back.